In this video, we're going to look at the footer, and we're going to add some buttons as well as some relevant information to the footer. And so first, let's take a look at the HTML, and we'll scroll down here. And here, of course, is the footer, and it is empty at this point, but we're going to enter some information into here right now. Now, the footer sometimes does not get a lot of love, but it should, because you should put some relevant links about maybe yourself, about employment or careers, or even a help section. That's usually where this type of information goes. And you might put a copyright in here. So I'll show you how to do the copyright first, and then we'll do the buttons. So I've already typed it out, and I'll just copy and paste in here as I always do. Now this ampersand copy will generate a copyright icon, and I'll show you that in a second. And then you want to put a semicolon, and then whatever it is you're copywriting. In this case, maybe your website, and you say all rights reserved. So let's go ahead and save this. We'll open up our index.html. And if we go to the bottom, we see that we've got a nice little copyright here. But we need to add some styling now, and let's do that in our CSS spreadsheet. So let's close this out. And in the spreadsheet, let's go all the way down to where our footer was, and we need to add some more rules to our footer rule set. So let's move right below our border radius rule, and I've already typed this all out, so as usual I'll copy and paste it. So this will be the color of the text, and I'll show you that in a second. We're going to center the text. We're going to add 15 pixels of padding, and we're going to actually set the font size at 90%, and this is the one I want to talk about. Usually you want your fonts in the footer to be the smallest part of your website, because it will usually be the least looked at. Obviously it's your main content that most people are going to be looking at, so you want that enlarged. But most web developers will actually set this at around 90%. So again, we're reducing that by 10% from what we set in our body up here at 14 pixels. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back down here, and let's go ahead and save this, and we'll open up our page. And now we've got this nice and centered. But we're going to put some buttons above this, so this will fill in a little bit more in a few minutes. So let's go ahead and close this out. And now, of course, let's switch back to the HTML. And of course, we have to add UL and LI tags for our buttons. And I've already typed that out, so I'll paste it in here. And we want these buttons to be above our copyright notice. So I'll go ahead and copy and paste this. And there you can see I added an about section for our website, a careers section, a help section, and a contact us section. So let's save that up. Let's open up our index.html, and you can see these will be unformatted. Doesn't look very good right now, right? But we're about to format them, and these will look very nice. So let's close that out. Now what we can do is actually copy the existing buttons that we had for our nav bar and edit those. That's the nice thing about CSS. We can reuse some of this code. Now obviously we're going to have to put footer for each one of these, but we can actually use most of this code. Almost all of it. Not all of it, but most of it. So let's go ahead and copy and paste all 4 of these rule sets right to here. So we want the nav bar UL, the nav bar ULI, the nav bar ULI anchor, and the hover. So we're going to get all 4 of those rule sets, and we'll put these right below our footer. And let's just copy and paste. Now the first thing we're going to do is rename these to footer, because we don't want this to conflict. So this will be for the footer. And again, it's going to be the same 4 rules, so that makes it really easy for us to reuse this. We're just going to do a little bit of editing, but it'll be very similar to what we did in the nav bar. All right, let's save that, and now let's start to edit these. So we'll start first with the UL. Okay, so for the first rule set right here, we're going to get rid of the background color. We don't want black, so we're just going to get rid of that. Now we will keep the inline the same. We'll keep the display type as inline. Now for the anchor, we're actually going to switch the color to that color, and you'll see it in a minute. It's kind of like this beige color. And for the background color, we're going to use this hex code, and you'll see it in a few seconds. So that's what we're going to change for the anchor rule set. And we're going to keep the hover rule set the same as what we had in the nav bar. So that's going to stay the same. So let's go ahead and save this. And we'll save everything up. Let's open this up. We go down here, and there you can see we've got these nice buttons now that will link to other pages in our website. Okay, that is going to do it for this video. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to rename this folder actually to liquid or flexible, whatever you want to call it, because we're going to look at fixed layouts in the next video. So we're done with the flexible layout for now. So go ahead and save that, and then in the next video we'll get started with some new code for a fixed layout. See you guys then.